Joining us one more time for bonus conversations on the coast is the wonderful Robert Schoen, who's written a book called What I Wish My Christian Friends Knew About Judaism, and it's published by a Catholic press in Chicago called Loyola. The Publishers Weekly had some great things to say about it, written in a breezy conversational style, they start out, and laced with humor. This primer on Judaism delivers precisely what the title indicates. Later on, they say, what is truly remarkable about this compendium, that's a terrible word, but it's okay, is its thoroughness and lucidity. Schoen manages to touch briefly on practically all aspects of Judaism, from Israel, the Holocaust, and anti-Semitism, to the role of women, Jewish symbols, Jewish art, and appropriate behavior at a bat or bar mitzvah, Jewish weddings, Jewish funerals, blah, 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 blah. Now, I want to go back to the top there where it says that you, Robert Schoen, have written a book laced with humor. We'll see. Please complete the following. A rabbi, a priest, and a chicken went into a bar. ...
One of the things that I like to say is, which of these jokes would you rather hear? A priest, a minister, and a chicken walk into a bar, or a rabbi, a priest, and a minister and a chicken walk into a bar? For some reason, the rabbi adds a whole level of humor that might not have been there before, even though it sounds funny just to walk into a bar with a chicken, regardless of who it is.
Yeah.
But Jewish humor comes, it's like in the genes. From George Burns to Jackie Mason to Seinfeld, you have many famous Jewish comedians and writers, Sid Caesar and so on, that are just legends in the field. So humor is very important in Judaism.
And going back to the part of the country that you come from, there was even a whole piece of the geography devoted to being like the graduate school of Jewish humor, the Catskills, the Borscht Circuit.
That's right, the Borscht
and all
Belt.
those hotels. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. So, okay, I want to talk about holidays and festivals. Now, if one looks at the table of contents, it lets us know how much you get into. You get into the high holy days, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, Simchat Torah, Hanukkah, Purim, Passover, and I'm going to try to say the other one. The Harvest Festival is called Shavuot, and all like that. However, that chapter begins with a personal experience of yours, which I think is most important, most poignant, and touching. Early in my career, you write, I worked in a clinic with a doctor who was an Orthodox Jew. As a result of this friendship, I began to learn a lot about Judaism. Many years later, I still vividly remember a special evening. My colleague had invited me to his home for Shabbat dinner. Although I worked with this man and felt very comfortable with him, had wonderful conversations with him, and would occasionally have lunch with him, since he was strictly kosher, I still felt nervous about the upcoming Friday night. I wanted to experience a contemporary Orthodox Jewish Shabbat.
When I walked to his front door and his wife opened the door for us to come in, she was dressed up. She was very, very dressed up in a fancy, not a fancy dress, but just high style.
Yeah.
And their little child, 5 years old, was wearing a suit and a tie. And my friend changed his clothes into a three-piece suit and wore a dark fedora hat. And we sat down. First his wife lit the Shabbat candles, Shabbos candles, which is another way of saying it. And there was just a sense of awe that I had. And he explained to me that when you have Sabbath in a Jewish home, you're inviting Queen Sabbath into your home as if you were inviting royalty. And this is the way you would dress. This is the way you would have your home. This is the way you would have your table set. And from the very beginning, from the lighting of the candles, all the way through the meal, through singing songs, through the prayers over the wine and the bread, it was a very high-level experience for me, and I get chills just thinking about it. Mm. And these people do this every week at this level, and I just have this tremendous admiration and awe about that.
And I think of how celebrating like that brings a family together.
Absolutely.
and like the whole world stops for this celebration, for this family to be together and share things. Now, is it a feast, Hanukkah? Do we call it a feast?
Festival,
which you say at one point is the general perception of Hanukkah is what prompted you to write this book.
That's correct.
What's the general perception that made you want to do this?
Well, in the United States, in this country, Hanukkah, because of its calendar proximity to Christmas, has become associated in the minds of not only Christians but Jews with the holiday season, or you could call it the Christmas holiday.
Okay.
So therefore, that's in the minds of many Jews, and it's become a gift-giving holiday as such.
And it should be something else, and we should be able to go on, but we don't have any more time. Robert Schoen has given us 3 weeks of his time of sharing with us a book called What I Wish My Christian Friends Knew About Judaism. This has been Conversations on the Coast, and I'm Jim Foster.
Now you can find this program on iTunes, SoundCloud, and all your favorite digital outlets. Follow the show on Twitter at Jim Foster COC and email jimfostercoc@gmail.com.